Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain and cracking open the secret playbook of the world's biggest luxury brands. We're going to figure out how they engineer desire and how they create products that aren't just expensive, but seem literally impossible to get your hands on. And it all starts with this one big mystery, a single item, the Hermès Birkin bag. This isn't just a handbag. For so many people, it is the ultimate status symbol. But actually trying to buy one brand new, well, that's an exercise in pure frustration. So you walk into any Hermès boutique, right? And this is the story you're almost guaranteed to hear. Oh, the wait is 3, maybe 5 years. It creates this massive wall of exclusivity. The message is clear. You can't just buy it. You have to be, well, chosen. And for $40,000, get this, that's just the starting price. Can you even imagine waiting for half a decade just for the privilege of spending that much? The demand is just on another level. So that's the real question here, isn't it? Is Hermès actually struggling to keep up, or is something else going on? The answer to that question takes us straight to the first tactic in the Luxury Playbook. As it turns out, this entire strategy is built on a really powerful psychological principle. It's one that taps right into our most basic desires and, our fundamental fear of missing out. And there's a name for it: manufactured scarcity. Let's be really clear. This is not some kind of accident or supply chain problem. No, it's a deliberate, calculated strategy designed to make you want something even more, precisely because they're telling you you can't have it. And this is where the official story starts to get really shaky. Because while they're telling customers, sorry, no bags, insider whispers paint a totally different picture. We're talking rumors of huge production numbers, claims that they actually burn unsold stock to keep the value high, and that those storerooms, they might be full. It's a very carefully constructed illusion. But making you feel like something is rare, that's just page 1. The playbook gets way more complex from here, layering all these other psychological tactics on top of that foundation. The next tactic is called information asymmetry. It's a fancy term, but it's all about one thing: power. The entire goal is to create a sense of mystery, to put you, the customer, on the back foot the second you walk in. The brand has all the control, all the information, and you have none. Prada is an absolute master of this. Just picture the experience. The door's locked, you have to be buzzed in, there are no price tags on anything, you can't just browse freely. For every little piece of information, you have to talk to a sales associate. They control the entire interaction, from start to finish. And this reveals something huge. These brands aren't just selling objects, they're selling membership. They're selling access to a club. The tactic is called tribe triggering. And it works because it taps into that ancient, hardwired human need to belong, to show people what group we're a part of. Van Cleef & Arpels does this brilliantly. Their Alhambra bracelet basically became a uniform for a whole tribe of celebrities, influencers, and their followers. You see it on Drake, you see it all over TikTok, and suddenly it's not just a bracelet anymore, it's a social signal that you're in the know. They even encourage you to stack them, to buy deeper and deeper into the tribe's identity. All right, this is where things get really wild. The next tactic is perception hacking, and it's all about creating a massive, massive gap between what something actually costs to make and what you feel it's worth. And they do this using every sensory trick you can imagine. Rolls-Royce is the perfect example here, because underneath all that gorgeous wood and rich leather, a Rolls-Royce is basically a BMW. It's a subsidiary. It uses their engines, their mechanics. But through this masterful perception hacking, the lighting, the weight of the door, even the smell, they create an experience so powerful it commands 5 times the price. And this is often paired with a really clever pricing mind game. A brand will put out this ridiculously expensive anchor item, $100,000 bag. Now, they don't actually expect to sell many of those. Its real job? To make the $10,000 bag sitting right next to it seem almost reasonable. So after hearing all that, you might be thinking, okay, so it's all just one big psychological trick. And a lot of it is. But that's not the entire picture. To be fair, you have to look at the actual craftsmanship that goes into these things. Let's go back to Hermès for a second, because their argument for that crazy price tag is based on truly exceptional old-world skill. I mean, each bag is made from start to finish by one single artisan. They use this special hand-stitching method that's famous for its durability, Every little detail is just meticulously crafted. 18 hours. Think about that. That's the minimum time a highly skilled craftsperson spends making just one of these bags. Some can take up to 40 hours. This is not an assembly line product. It is, for all intents and purposes, a piece of art. And this gets us right to the heart of the whole thing. Take that Van Cleef bracelet again. Estimates say it costs around $500 to make, but the price you pay is thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. The genuine quality is the anchor for the price. But that enormous gap between cost and price, well, that is filled entirely by perception, marketing, and psychology. So that brings us to the final and most important question. When you pay that huge premium, what are you really paying for? If it's not just for the materials and the hours of labor, what is it? The final piece of this playbook is maybe the most powerful of all. It's called narrative imprinting, and it's the art of telling a story so effectively that a product stops being about utility, a bag for holding things, and it becomes a vehicle for your identity. When Hermes talks about the Hermes family, this is exactly what they mean. You're not just buying a bag, you're buying entry into that family. You are buying the story of craftsmanship, the status of exclusivity, and the identity that the brand has spent decades meticulously engineering. So here's the ultimate takeaway. The world's most successful luxury brands are masters of two completely separate crafts. First, there's the physical craft of making beautiful things with undeniable quality. But then there's the psychological craft of building an entire invisible world of status, story, and desire around those things.
And really, that's the question we want to leave you with. Once you understand the playbook, it changes how you see these products forever. It forces you to ask, is the value in the object itself, or is it true value in the story that you're being sold?